back in January 2017, it seems like just yesterday, I just suddenly became sick, like not being able to get out of bed. I couldn't tolerate light, any kind of light. I had to wear sunglasses in the house. The sounds, just a slightest little sound would be deafening to me. My ears and my hearing was very sensitive. I couldn't tolerate sound, I couldn't tolerate light. I felt weak. I couldn't work. I couldn't really service my clients. I felt I lost so much weight. I was still eating, but my weight gain was diminishing before my eyes. I felt nauseated all the time. And this went on for a while until I went to the doctor, and the doctor sent me for so many tests, sent me for um, x-rays, and sent me for MRI and all the above to check my brain, to see if there anything was happening with my organs. I mean, the test that I went through was incredible. And still there was no definitive answer of why. I mean, the doctors even recommended certain medications. I started taking some and they started to make me feel worse. So I stopped. And I just had to surrender. I think and I believe that God was calling me to pause. It was such a chaotic time. It was such a busy time in my life and my business. I was so much into doing, operating in the masculine so much. And this was a normal standard of operation for me. Always doing, always feel that I had to be on, always have to be working on something, not taking time out for myself, not taking time to enjoy the moment and to appreciate what where I am and where I'm at this time. I was always going for the next goal. And I really believe that that illness, or that sickness, that time for 4 months, I couldn't do anything. That was a calling. That was a pause from God to say, you need to stop. You need to pause. And the only way that I'm going to get you to pause is to get you on your back. You can't you can't do anything in the computer. You can't talk to anyone. You can't handle any light. You can't sound. And you just need to be still. And I had to be still because I had no choice. I could not do anything but be still. And during that time, as I surrendered into it and stopped fighting what was going on in my body and in my mind and my emotions, I just had to surrender. I remember as I started to feel a little bit better, I had to go to the bank. And I remember collapsing at the bank and being wheeled out in an ambulance. And I've never been in an ambulance before. And this question came to me, came through me. And I remember hearing myself saying, God, am I going to die? That's what I asked, because I felt like it was the end. You know, I don't know if you ever experienced that before. And then something inside of me says, no, you shall not die. This is not your time to die. You will live, and you are going to live, but things are going to be different. And from that moment on, as I regained my strength, and then the symptoms just disappeared. Like how they came, they just disappeared. And I started to regain my strength, and I started showing up, and and this is when I launched, after that, I launched my magazine, the Kharisma magazine. But also the interesting that I experienced was my gifts, my spiritual gifts were amplified. My ability to read someone's energy, my ability to hear something, read something, and tap into exactly what's going on for that situation or those individuals or individual involved. And it's like my gift was just amplified. My hearing was amplified. Every single, my gifts, all my gifts were amplified after this illness and this 4 months of being still and not being able to do anything and feeling like I was a failure and feeling like what is wrong with me? What is going on? And having no answers. But not until the point did I surrender. Surrendered to the stillness, surrendered to God, to surrender to what was coming through me. Was it the gifts able to bubble up and to amplify themselves through me? And I went on now, as I served my clients, I was able to serve from a deeper place. That I would be listening to my clients and tuning into their energy and tapping into actually what's going on. They'll be saying something to me, certain words, but I'd be hearing something totally different. And then when I say to them, is this what you're actually feeling or going through or have experienced? Even though they told me something totally different. And they would say, yeah, how did you know? So the hearing, being able, the audible, they call it the psychic gifts, were amplified. So I am grateful for that experience. At the time when I was experiencing it, it seemed like a tremendous obstacle in my way. And it was for a time because, not being able to show up, service the clients, obviously it's going to have a negative impact. And it did. But on the flip side of that, with my gifts being amplified, me being able to serve my clients at a deeper transformational way and show up more powerfully, I wouldn't trade that for anything. But I had to be still. God had to put me on my back for this to come through me and to actually make me become aware that how I am going and continue to live my life and to build my business is not for my highest good. I always believe in this affirmation, and it's my daily affirmation, and I have it right in front of me in my office. Everything is always working out for me and for my highest good. And I want to invite you to really lean into that every day that you lean into this, everything is always working out for me and for my highest good. And whatever the experience is, whatever the obstacle is, it may not be pleasurable, it may not be fun, it may not be nice, it may not be a good experience at the time, but you have to trust God, trust the universe, trust that everything is working out for you and for your highest good.